Imagine this for a moment. A small strip of land, barely visible on the world map, yet it has shaken empires, started wars, changed religions, and filled history books for thousands of years. Now imagine this same land was already spoken about, long before modern politics, long before borders, and long before the word Palestine even existed. What if Gaza was never just a piece of land? What if it was always meant to be a sign? Stay with me, because tonight you are not watching news, you are watching history collide with prophecy. For centuries, Gaza has been called many things: a battlefield, a tragedy, a prison, a symbol of resistance, a symbol of suffering. But very few people ask the most important question: did the Bible already describe Gaza's destiny? Long before CNN, BBC, or social media, this land appeared again and again in sacred scripture, not as random geography, but as a spiritual stage where human pride meets divine will. In ancient times, Gaza was known as one of the 5 major cities of the Philistines. The Philistines were not just another tribe, they were Israel's most persistent and dangerous enemy. They were strong, skilled in war, technologically advanced, and deeply opposed to Israel's God. The Bible places Gaza right in the center of this conflict. But listen carefully, this is where most people miss the point. The story of Gaza is not just about war, it is about power, fear, faith, and destiny. One of the most famous biblical figures connected to Gaza is Samson. You have probably heard his name, a man of incredible strength, chosen by God, but deeply flawed as a human. Samson was captured by the Philistines in Gaza. They blinded him, humiliated him, and chained him like an animal. In that moment, Gaza became a place of darkness, arrogance, and cruelty. But the story didn't end there. Samson prayed one final time, asking God for strength, and in a single moment, he brought down the entire building, killing himself and thousands of Philistines. Why is this important? Because Gaza in the Bible is repeatedly shown as a place where human power rises and divine power responds. Fast forward thousands of years, we see the same pattern again and again. Every empire that tried to dominate this land, Egyptians, Assyrians, Babylonians, Romans, Ottomans, eventually fell. Gaza remained, scarred but still standing. This makes you wonder, is Gaza cursed or is it chosen? Some scholars believe Gaza represents something deeper, a place where nations fight, but God watches. The Bible also speaks about Gaza through prophets like Amos and Zephaniah. They warned that Gaza would face destruction because of injustice and cruelty, but they also hinted that God's story with this land was not finished. Here is where it gets chilling. Many people today look at Gaza only through politics, but if you look through Scripture, you see something else, a repeating cycle of suffering, rebellion, judgment, and survival. And this cycle never ends. Even the name Palestine is connected to the Philistines, people who were once the greatest enemies of Israel. This is not coincidence. History carries memory. But the Bible also speaks of restoration. It does not only talk about destruction, it talks about healing, justice, and a future where nations come together in peace. That means Gaza's destiny is not only tragedy, it is transformation. When you see images of children in Gaza, of families broken apart, of cities turned to dust, you are not just seeing war, you are seeing a story that has been unfolding for millennia. A story where human hatred keeps repeating, but divine patience remains. Some believe that Gaza will play a role in the final days of prophecy, not just as a battlefield alone, but as a witness to humanity's choices. Will we choose revenge or mercy? Will we choose power or compassion? The Bible suggests that places like Gaza exist to test humanity's soul. And right now, the world is failing that test. Gaza is not just a location, it is a mirror. It shows us who we really are. Are we people of destruction or people of healing? If you read the Bible carefully, you begin to see that God never abandons places that suffer. Instead, He works through them. This is why Gaza still exists after thousands of years of conflict. Empires disappeared, Gaza did not. That should make you pause. Why has this tiny land survived every storm of history? Because some places are not meant to vanish, they are meant to teach. The destiny of Gaza in the Bible is not written in bombs or borders. It is written in faith, endurance, and ultimate justice. A day may come when this land is no longer known for war, but for peace. Not because politicians decided so, but because humanity finally learned the lesson it was meant to learn. When that day arrives, Gaza will no longer be a symbol of conflict. It will become a symbol of redemption. And maybe that is the true biblical destiny of Gaza. Not destruction, but awakening. Before you go, ask yourself one question. If the Bible already warned us about this land, why did we ignore it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this video if you want more deep biblical revelations like this. And remember, history does not repeat itself by accident.